The Wes Penre Papers. A Journey Through the Multiverse. The Second Level of Learning. http://wespenre.com. Prophecy Paper Number 2. The Closing of the Nano-Second. By Wes Penre, Saturday, October 13, 2012. http://wespenre.com, Part 5. 9. The Silent Invasion. I have saved this section until last in the discussion about the invading Syrian forces, because it's the one I've hesitated about the most, hoping it's not true. When us researchers of old prophecies, which include aliens, talk about invader forces, in general we either discuss them in terms of huge battleships surrounding Earth, Project Blue Beam, or like me, Project Blue Beam as a distraction, while the invasion happens elsewhere. That's bad enough, but there is another option as well. The invasion could be totally silent, no blue beam or any hologram whatsoever needed. The holograms could just be something they leaked out to us so that we keep our eyes towards the sky instead of here, down on the surface. We were talking earlier about alien/military abductions in a prime event. It could possibly be that at least a big part of the abductions of people could be not so much to explore our DNA as it would to reprogram it for the prime event that will set humanity off towards the machine kingdom. Could it be that they are opening up certain chakras and manipulating certain parts of our DNA so that we can be open for entity possession? The entities I am talking about now are the Syrian, taking over our bodies from the nano world. After all, there are many million Americans who claim they have been kidnapped by aliens. Someone said, 1 in 20 Americans have been abducted. Even if just a third of these stories are true and include real aliens, it's still a huge amount. If all those, of the majority of them, were abducted for the above purpose, the Syrians have a lot of bodies they can inhabit here. No bloody war needed, and no major loss of human lives. Let's say that the alien/military abduction part of the plan is coming to a completion, then it's just a prime or unifying event that's missing, something that's perhaps at least twice as traumatic as 9/11's. I assume it must have to do with loss of human lives, because that seems to be what affects us the most, emotionally. In any case, it has to be an event that will cause tremendous trauma even for those who are not directly affected. And it must be of a magnitude so that it affects the whole world at once for it to be most effective. Boom! And from the shock, people all over the world leave their bodies. Not permanently, but under trauma, people usually leave their bodies, because they want to escape from the terrible situation. It happened during 9/11's as well, and many people got possessed. When the spirit leaves the body during such an event, it's a perfect opportunity for non-physicals to enter the body and coexist with the original soul. If this theory is correct, 9/11's could very well have been a pilot, a test to see how well it worked out. If it was successful, which I believe it was, all they have to do now is to wrap it up, tie together the loose ends and execute a really powerful event. Then, if let's say 1 billion people get terrified enough to leave their body for an extensive amount of time, let's say 24 hours, there is plenty of time for the Syrians to invade and take over a lot of these bodies. They may not be able to inhabit all the 1 billion bodies, not all vessels are suitable for them, but the ones who were genetically altered during abductions were most certainly trained and implanted with fear so that it would be a 100% certain thing that these people would exteriorize death, leave their bodies, so the Syrians could enter. Interdimensional Syrians would hang around in the astral, waiting for people around the globe, abductees or not, to exteriorize so they could attempt to invade the vehicles. In case this is successful, the invasion may be over in a couple of minutes. Unfortunately, with the technology the warlords inhabit, this version of an invasion seems the most plausible, because it's the easiest and most effective way to do it. And they can still have use for all the bodies that survive the prime event, so the plan may be to create a catastrophe big enough to get the desired effect, but small enough to save as many lives as possible, unless they are planning to take advantage of a huge human exit from the planet, feeding off the fear and fire, soul energy, that shoots off into the astral during such an event. This time, when the Syrians take over the human bodies in shock, they will most likely kick out the original avatar/fire and cut off the astral cords so they can't return. They die, but the body is still functioning, now taken over by a star being, by someone from the Syrian alliance, be it a Grey, Draco, Wolfen/Reptilian, or whomever. Afterwards, in the aftermath, the same Syrian forces who took over the human bodies will help humankind on their feet. Beings from this new Syrian/human community will now put themselves in positions of power, first showing quite a lot of empathy and love. If this is true, it unfortunately fits in with what I have noticed lately. All of a sudden, there are those strange channeled messages coming through to channelers all over the world. They say they are beings of the light, some even say they are ascended Nibiruans and that the old, warlike Anunnaki don't exist anymore, they have evolved and are now a 9D collective. The message these entities spread through their human vessel is that of love and light, and that we have to start trusting the Syrians, because they now have our best interests in mind. I got one of these messages emailed to me yesterday by a reader of my material, who wanted to help and asked me what I thought about it. The message I was sent is rather short, so I'll include it here for your discernment. Please read and we'll discuss it more afterwards. A message from Nibiru and the Anunnaki channeled by Meline Lafont here and now. Allow us to introduce ourselves and, by the same token, to greet you most heartily as we now enter the times in which it is paramount to address you all and to share important information. We are the so-called Anunnaki, and in the course of our evolution we have spiritually evolved into the light. Our predecessors, who have been generally known by the term Anunnaki, are no longer existing now, as we have evolved spiritually into the light, causing that designation to become obsolete. We are reborn, and so is our designation. We speak from the collective, and we are most grateful for this opportunity to step forward. We get a distinct feeling that this is not so easy because our scribe is not convinced enough as to our intentions. For this reason we had to wait quite a long time for this opportunity to be granted. Now she has consented to function as a scribe for us, for which we are immensely grateful. It is quite obvious that there still exist thoughts and judgments about us all referencing to the deeds of our predecessors. We firmly take our stand that we do not want to be compared with them anymore, as we no longer embody those energies, and we have absolutely seen the error of our ways. In realizing this, we have been uplifted into a higher level of consciousness that is linked to the Christ consciousness, to the office of the Christ, also known as the highest light possible. We request of you now, to open yourselves for our conversations in the firm belief that we no longer have the same intentions as in the past, for we no longer embody that disposition. We are loving entities now, and we approach you with loving intentions to assist you and to make amends for our previous erroneous ways. We thank you in advance for this opportunity. What we wish to convey to you all is that we are now in the process of gradually approaching your planet Earth. We are hiding behind your sun and, rather unperceivedly, approach you because a direct approach would be too overwhelming and too shocking. The energies that our planet Nibiru generates for the population of Earth and for Earth herself are enormously powerful. But please do not consider this a negative fact. We do not approach you with bad or with destructive intentions, but rather with enlightened intentions. The results of our presence, in the sense of an approach, will cause many shifts and will more specifically see to it that all remaining negative energies, still firmly anchored in your planet, will be released in their totality. Much negativity has already left, but still some has to leave. This can be accomplished thanks to the energetic shifts that we cause in passing alongside your planet. We will not arrive on your shores, our mission is to assist you by merely approaching you and then passing you by. That fact in itself will be more than sufficient to witness some beneficial shifts. You are not up for destruction, far from it. Please let that sink in. We only ask that you do not consider us or even link us with terms as destruction, negative thoughts or negative intentions. It is of the utmost importance to distance yourselves from this line of thought and to know, without a shadow of a doubt, that we come from the light with the best of intentions. This is our mission. This is our assistance towards all of you. This assistance can be seen as a restitution. To be aware that we come to help you, will bring further enlightenment to us as well as to you, resulting in perfect harmony on your earth. Admittedly, harboring thoughts and fears about destruction or about our alleged ill intentions, can lead to more chaos and confusion, resulting in the fact that our approaching planet Nibiru will energetically reinforce those thought forms. The arrival of our planet fortifies the collective thought patterns and the collective consciousness of humanity. So please think and create what it is that you want to achieve from a heart filled with love and light. To exist in complete harmony within yourself will empower that what you want to become. Our planet Nibiru will shift everything, meaning that all that has to happen to bring forth ascension, will duly come to pass. The more your thoughts and your creations are outright positive, the more there are only loving thoughts and feelings towards one another, the more positively harmonious the effects will be. It is very important that you familiarize yourself with this fact. Your own destiny and your own path lie within your own hands. You decide what your future, or what your now moment, will look like. Your thoughts and your creations determine your state of being and your experiences. When you love, when you remain and act from love, all will be good and all will stay good. Your inner peace is important, as is your complete trust in the divine. We originate from the divine and we strive to cooperate with this divine plan which we serve. It is our hope that we have clarified what our purpose and our mission entails within this great ascension process, which in itself is accelerating more and more. Have faith in the divine and in our intentions, as they are solely based in love. We love you all so dearly and we only have your best interest at heart. At this present moment, Nibiru is situated at the distance of the Sun from your Earth, what you would call an astronomical unit, and our energies are already clearly perceived and felt by all of you. These are intense energies for which also beloved Gaia remains not numb. She knows of our upcoming arrival to help her as well as her population and is most grateful for this. For centuries she has asked for help and she is now thrilled to see and feel us responding to her request. The time is now for you to shift over to the state of enlightenment, and everything in that regards is worked out meticulously. This project implies and has drawn enormous energies even from all over the cosmos, because this solar system will now take its rightful place and will start executing its assigned galactic duties. Everything moves up a notch from a galactic point of view as we all continue to evolve ad infinitum. Nibiru is our planet, but it is also our enlightened home world on which schools will be established for students such as yourselves. We are very pleased to see you all evolve on a large scale, as is effectively foreseen that way. The ones who are ready will also evolve and will take the big leap into ascension. The ones who are not yet ready will evolve along other ways and will continue to live on in their own creations of duality until the time has come for them to make the leap into ascension. You are the precursors and the guides showing the way to what can be and what will be possible. We respect all choices, and Nibiru will make a clear distinction in what the possibilities are, because all worlds, all creations will be fortified and there will definitely be clarity. In no circumstances do we wish to bring fear. We want to clarify the fact that you must proceed thoroughly in the best interest for all of us and for all of you. Your thoughts and creations will materialize, and that's the reason why it is so important to remain positive and to be love. Our arrival will empower everything, so make sure that you are at all times positive and loving, so that you will experience just that. Your inner guide is now your only guide, so work on establishing a direct link and connection to your inner guide when you feel that this connection is not fully activated. You are assisted enormously by the beloved archangels, by the ascended masters and by other galactic civilizations who take on the role of helping and protecting you wherever necessary. Call on them when you think you need help to activate yourself so that you can rely on yourself at all times. All that surrounds you is something outside of yourself on which you cannot rely in times of chaos and changes. It is your inner guidance that will become important, your inner feelings as prompted by following your heart, for your heart is always with you at all times. The old and familiar that surrounds you will never be the same again, a fact that will be felt by many as a deep hole. The familiar has always been a kind of hold for you. It is time to let it all go, as in fact they are non-existent. Only you are eternal, life itself is eternal. Your own essence, your spark, your love, and your color makes you what you are now and what you will always be no matter what. So be love in all ways and have faith in yourself and in the divine plan. You have arrived at a most significant shift which will alter your whole world forever. We thank you for this opportunity to share our message. We are the Anunnaki and we greet you most lovingly. Interestingly enough, this group is changing their name from Anunnaki to Anunnaki, thinking that this will take care of the problem with their bad reputation. Also, they mention that if we don't stop thinking negatively about them, something bad can happen to us when Nibiru comes closer to us. The only thing that caught my attention in this message is the current distance between Nibiru and Earth, which this group says is 10 astronomical unit, which is the same distance LPGC has promoted. But my real purpose with posting this channeled session is to show the reader what the potential reason for this ET group to channel this message is. They may very well be testing the waters. Are they, the Sirians, who are not at all beings of love and light, able to fake those higher emotions and vibrations and fool mankind? If you go to the website where the session is posted and read the plenty of comments underneath, it sure looks like most people get fooled. As we speak, the Sirians are testing other channelers as well, who have their chakras wide open, ready to take in any entities, good or bad. The Sirians apparently want to see how well they can perform the ability to spread fake love and light. If people respond positively to this obvious fraud, the Sirians know they can invade and after the prime event be the ones who comfort the survivors and start building up what has been torn down. These Sirian walk-ins def will all be very gentle, loving, and helpful in nature, but will be faking it. However, if they do a good job with it, these people will be the ones the population wants as their future leaders. If they decide to go this route, the Sirians have millions, perhaps close to 1 billion human bodies they can take over here on Earth and they will then be in direct control of Earth in a fashion that has not been the case earlier, not in this capacity. If this succeeds, the Sirians, I'm sure, are pretty confident that they can lead the sheep into embracing the machine kingdom, rightfully so. Therefore, whatever happens, keep your calm, think about this paper, and do whatever necessary to stay in your body. Stay grounded. Have a crystal always handy, keep it in your pocket wherever you go, it will help grounding you. Go to a new age store or similar and choose one or more that attract your attention, it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Also, if a traumatic event happens, take deep breaths, which will also ground you, and if possible, do the quantum pause breathing exercise, which can be found here, http://wespenry.com/quantum-pause.htm. All these things will prevent you from being possessed or taken over by someone from the Sirian Alliance. This is why I am stressing this breathing exercise so much. We need to do it on a daily basis, at least twice a day, or if time won't allow us, do a short one, perhaps just 2 to 3 breathing loops. This way you will stay grounded, at least most of the time. And lastly, if the above is indeed their plan, make sure not to get too involved. Such a plan would be ingenious, because the Sirians know about the good heart of humans, and our willingness to help others in a situation of crisis. Of course we will help out under the circumstance of a prime event like that and assist those who are badly affected by it, but when everything has settled, it's imperative that we, who don't want to have anything to do with the Sirian invaders, are starting to go in our own direction. They can only hurt and harm us if we let them manipulate us into agreeing to that they can harm us. We need to claim the sovereignty over our bodies and the planet and connect with nature, which will be where we are the most grounded. After the fact, the Sirian king may show up in some kind of second coming and perhaps there will be a rapture, too, both of religious people, Christians in particular, and New Agers, who think the saviors will come in spaceships and beam them up, or invite them on board. These people, rather than ascending to heaven or higher dimensions, will be reprogrammed and used for something else, probably, with all memories erased. This way, the Sirians will get rid of minds which are disruptive to their plans. So, with that the Sirian invasion will be more or less complete. Gigantic metropolitans will be built to house the machine kingdom, and the majority of people will be seduced into living there, and many feel they need to do it out of necessity. It will happen gradually, and most people will not even notice, so be very alert. Another last option for now when comes to Syrian invasions would be an even more silent invasion, without a prime event. 2012 will just pass by as any year. Well, more or less, 2012 has so far not passed by just as any year, with not too much commotion, because the takeover has already happened. Or most of it, perhaps. In other words, the Syrians from the spirit world are able to occupy the bodies they need without the rest of the planet having a clue. Maybe a prime event is obsolete. If this is the case, it's even more important to be alert, because everybody is waiting for something big to happen. When it doesn't, people write it off as just another fraud, hoax, fake, conspiracy nutcase, and all the rest of it, when in fact everything happened behind the scenes. In fact, Dr. Raymond Kurzweil, one of the pioneers in nanotechnology, said just recently that the turnover from a machine just being a machine into singularity, which means that the machine becomes intelligent enough to think without human interaction, can and will be very subtle, and people will probably not notice. And not only will machines be as intelligent as humans, they will exceed human intelligence. I talked about this a lot in Level I as well. See http://artificial-intelligence-nano-tech-the-path-of-the-gods.htm and http://wespenry.com/animus-artificial-intelligence-blank-slate-technology.htm right parenthesis. But it doesn't end there. Kurzweil and his conspiratorial scientists, who receive billions of dollars of tax money, and an unknown quantity from the black budget, to finance research into nanotechnology, know that one day man and machine will become one, and that's the exact purpose. Instead of like now, when they have slaves, us, who are hybrids, human/alien, they will have what science fiction writers call cyborgs, so-called artificial intelligence, abbreviation AI. Our body parts will be replaced by machine parts. This way, like the Pleiadians say as well in recent lectures, the invaders will have a human slave race which is much more obedient and can function as fabulous super soldiers. So, constant alertness is our best weapon right now. It's easy even for the most enlightened of us to fall for new technology, because it seems to make life simpler. And it does, for a while, until we, too, are sucked into this new machine kingdom, and we didn't even notice. It's very seductive and very, very addictive. More so than any known drug on Earth, I dare say. The following video from a dying NASA scientist is from 2008. It was sent to me by a supporter of my work on November 4, 2012, the day after I completed the whole Level 2. It confirms everything I've been trying to explain. He is very accurate, unfortunately. 10. The superwave as a positive event. There are those, as we have seen, who want to present the superwave, in which we are now currently bathing, as something dangerous and potentially so lethal that it will kill off the whole population, and we need to evacuate before winter solstice, 2012, December 21. This, I believe, is even more fear-mongering, feeding those who are in charge of our planet. In reality, the superwave is a wave of light frequency from the higher part of the spectrum, and it will boost us with all this energy before it moves on and disappears out in deep space on its continuous journey in 2013, signaling the end of the nanosecond. By then, we should be fully upgraded and able to more easily start using our new abilities to build a new world, free from Syrian involvement. More about this in the last paper. The problem is that many people who are aware of the superwave see it as something potentially very dangerous that can destroy big parts of Earth. The wave is so powerful that those who observe it may think we won't survive the ramifications. Much of the fear and negativity when comes to the superwave, I believe, comes from Paul Laviolette's work on the subject. Laviolette has a frightening perspective of what it all may bring to Earth when it hits, and LPGC, among others, have taken this approach as well. LPGC also took the most frightening information out there when comes to the incoming planet that's in existence, and embraced it. Personally, I prefer a most balanced look at the superwave, and the explosions that are occurring something around every 26,000 years in the center of the galaxy, from the galactic central sun, not to be confused with Alcyone, the central sun. This is a very natural phenomenon, and a part of a natural cycle. Due to these explosions, star races like ourselves are able to take the leap from being planetary bound in an evolutionary cycle, to become more multidimensional and eventually star travelers. Perhaps, without these regular explosions, this wouldn't be possible, or at least take so much longer. But I do not fear it, indeed, I look forward to it. The next paper will bring up what awaits for mankind if we continue doing nothing and refuse to get rid of our chains, like Jim Morrison said in the above interview. It's the quite inevitable future waiting for those who'd rather be manipulated than create their own lives, free from chains. Finally, the last paper will be discussing a probable future for those who choose to still stay here on Earth and rebuild it to become the paradise many of us have dreamed about. Of course, there is going to be challenges even in the positive future we are building, and this is as it should be. A life without challenges is a boring life, indeed. Souls need challenges to be happy and feel they accomplish something, but in the future, the challenges will be set by us, without the interference of an oppressive star race, such as the Syrians. The difference should be mind-blowing, because we can now work on our own personal goals, not some false goals that have been implanted into us, together with a belief in our own limitations. A time will come when there will actually be a wave of light that sweeps Earth. The Pleiadians.